I am Samantha Mowat. I'm a clairvoyant psychic and a contactee, and tonight I'd like to help you work on your psychic development. One of the ways that I've really found that my psychic development helped me to better understand what was going on in my life and the world was I started to realize how often my energetic body was impacted by the energies of the people, the places, and the things that I was encountering. And I didn't even think about this at first until I started having the different beings that I work with starting to bring this up as something that was important. Not only would it come through when I was doing automatic writing for myself, trying to find out why I was having certain experiences or why I was going through different obstacles in life, but I'd also have it coming forward when I was trying to meditate and talk to my guides, as well as when I went up on craft and was having school on craft. And so there's a number of ways you can really get to know this and really understand what's going on. And the first thing is to actually recognize that you are a psychic being. And not only are you a psychic being, but you're going through a high amount of energetic infiltration every day. And by infiltration, I mean our auras are like giant sponges. And everyone you encounter has their own auric field. Some people are a whole mess of emotions where they're angry and sad and they're happy and they're kind of dealing with mental imbalances and drug addictions and alcohol addictions and sex addictions and things like that. And then you're encountering people who are more calm, and then you're encountering people who are going through loss or grieving, and everybody has different auric fields that are comprised of different emotions, different energetic vibrations. And until you learn actually how to take that energy body, how to really utilize it, how to clear it, how to ground it, how to connect it in, as well as how to recognize the energies that are coming towards you, how they're impacting your aura, and how you can release them, you're probably going to go around life having a really hard time making decisions, feeling foggy-headedness, feeling overwhelmed in your life, depression, stuff like that. So let's do this together. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think we can make this maybe like a 5, maybe 10-minute long video. So let's make it nice and short. So what you're going to do is get comfy, put your feet flat on the ground. When I'm doing energy work, I like to keep my hands flat on my lap, at least when I'm just connecting it on my own personal level. So how about you go ahead and do that? Perfect. And now you're going to just take a moment, close your eyes, and feel your breathing. What is your breathing doing? The reason I want you to focus on your breath is your breath is going to tell you, to an extent, how far out your auric field is. When we're feeling like we're not able to actually relax, our aura tends to wrap around us like a cozy little blanket. And so, when we're taking a moment to recognize our breath, we're actually feeling what else is going on in the auric field. So now that you've done that, just take a moment and we're going to do a quick scan of our aura. Start at your toes, and just kind of feel how your toes feel. Are they sore? Are they comfy? You might not even feel any energy at all, but just slowly work your way up the body, from the toes to the heel, feeling your energy and your attention go up the legs, up over the calves to the knees, working your way up higher along the knees, through the thighs, to your hips and your sit bones, go up to your waist, to your chest, up to your shoulders and arms, and finally bring your attention up to your head. Just get an idea of what that body feels like, and I'm going to give you a moment to do that. Perfect. The reason I want you to get to know what your aura was feeling like right now is we're going to notice what our aura is like at this time, then we're going to call on our angels, and when you're all done the video, I want for you to do that same scan. You're going to start at your toes and work your way up to the top of your head and feel the way your aura feels. Because I want you to recognize the different vibrations you're going through based upon what's occurring in your world at that time. Perfect. So now that we've done that, let's call our angels and guides to us. You can say it out loud or in your head. Angels and guides, come to me, please. It doesn't matter what words you use can use any phrase you like. They don't care. It's just a matter of saying the intention. That's the most important part. Perfect. And now you might feel a slight change in the pressure of the room or the temperature. You might notice that it feels busier in this location. Just really pay attention to the energy and how it feels. I noticed that when I called my guides in earlier, that I started to really feel a shift in the room. For me, the room, it didn't necessarily feel warmer. It felt like the energy was more higher vibrational or faster moving is a good way to put the higher vibrational energy. Perfect. And now let's ask our angels and guides to clear our energy field. Angels and guides, please clear my aura. Please clear my body. Please clear my mind. Please clear me psychically. Thank you. And the reason we do that is because we're such sensitive individuals, and because we tend to have a lot of energy coming around us and often interacting with our auras and our energy fields. It's because everything from the objects that we have near us, to the people, to our pets, to our plants, everything has an energetic signature. Everything is energy. And so it only makes sense that they're all operating at different densities and different vibratory rates. But it's how those vibrational fields are interacting with your aura that are important. Because when a lot of things are really discordant, it can throw off your auric field and help to shift your vibration in directions you may not necessarily want it to go. So now that we've done that, and our auras are clear, and we're psychically clear, and our mind's all clear, let's put up our energy protection. I'm going to use white light like a spotlight coming down from the ceiling, down over top of my body, going down straight to the center of the earth, acting as my grounding cord as well, and then I'm going to use a golden bubble all around my auric field. That is my favorite energy protection to use. But you can use any one you like. You can use things like envisioning colors around you. You can envision fire all around you. You can ask an angelic being to step behind you and to wrap you in their wings. You can envision mirrors all around your auric field, if you like. That way whatever energy comes to you just bounces off again. Some people even like using cloaks, imagining like a purple cloak going up over their body and tying it around their neck, and then it protecting them. Whatever you choose is perfectly fine, and you can mix it up at any time. If you decide that you want to try one form of energy protection for a while, and that one's not working well for you, then you're able to shift it and try something else. It really doesn't matter. Play with it, have fun with it, and get to know it. The most important factor here is to get in the habit of doing it. And now that we've done that, we're really ready to start moving forward. With tonight's activity, what I'm hoping to get you to recognize is how your auric field is interacting and feeling when you're encountering other people's vibration and other people's emotion. My intention tonight is to tell you a few different experiences in my life, and what I want for you to do is actually to take the basic premise of this exercise, which is having two people, a sender and a receiver, and you're going to be able to do a very simple task. That task is, while we're doing this, I'm going to be talking about an experience. And as I'm talking about that experience, you're going to notice what kind of emotions you're feeling, because it is your job to recognize when other people are having their energy coming towards you. What is their emotional body doing? What is the energy coming out of them? That is important, because when you start to recognize how other people's emotions and their words are impacting the way your aura feels, you can better recognize what kind of people you want to have in your life, what kind of situations do and do not honor your soul, as well as what it is you're willing to have around you, whether it's objects or even situations. So, shall we get started? It's going to be a lot of fun. One thing that I want for you to do is you can say this out loud. So let's say I'm saying something about a happy experience. You may notice that you feel happy, and then you might feel sad, and then you might feel frustrated. Trust whatever emotion is coming forward. And when you're done this video, I want for you to find a friend. Doesn't matter who. And for the two of you, you're going to go back and forth telling experiences. And as you're doing it, as the person who's speaking is telling experiences, the other person is saying out loud what emotions and what vibrations they're picking up on. It's a really fun thing to do, and maybe I'll do it with a friend of mine so you can better recognize this activity. So maybe we'll do it 2 ways just to help. So, 1 second, let me find a good one. Oh, okay, that's a good one. Thank you. So, a very long time ago, when I was living on a house, or in a house on the ocean, I was trying to connect to my angels and my guides. And I was having a wonderful time doing it. I was feeling their energy wrapping around my body. I was feeling the energy growing and changing and shifting. And as I was having this happen, it was really, really great because I had my paintbrush in front of me. And as I had my paintbrush in front of me, I had my hand down on the paper, or pardon me, the canvas. And then I was coloring the colors I was seeing around my aura because I was using my third eye as well as my physical eyes to develop a deeper level of clairvoyance. And as I'm doing that, I felt this need to stop what I was doing. And I sat upright and I connected my energy field to the energy that was calling me. And I remember going, whose energy is this? What energy is this? Because it didn't feel like my angels. It didn't feel like my guides. It didn't feel extraterrestrial or multidimensional. It felt like a sense of familiarity, a sense of someone whose soul I recognized on many, many levels. And as I was doing that, I remember being surrounded by my plants in our sunroom, and I was looking at my hand. And as I looked down at my hand, seeing the beautiful glow of blue, a soft blue, like a powdery sky blue, and more of a lavender purple, I noticed that I had one little white spark cascading its way down, and it fell between two of my fingers. And then a moment later, another little white spark fell down and fell between another section of my fingers. And then a red spark came down slowly, ever so slowly, and it landed on my hand. And what I hadn't mentioned previously was I was feeling a little off at that time. I was having cramps, and I was having just heaviness in my breasts, and I was really tired, and I really wasn't feeling well. And I wasn't sure why my body was going through this change, because I was vegan, I was exercising regularly, I was doing yoga, I was really working hard to keep myself in that higher vibrational state, having as deep of a connection with my guides as I possibly could. And so I found out a few days later that I was pregnant. And at the time, I didn't want to be pregnant. I didn't want to have a child that time. My husband and I had just decided that we wouldn't have children, that we were just going to stick to our careers and traveling. And so what he and I did was we went for a drive a couple days after that. And while this was going on, I wasn't in the habit of drinking coffee. I was very strictly a tea person because caffeine does throw off the auric field and the ability to connect into guides really easily and really well. And so while this was happening, we sat in the car like we so often do, and we each had a cup of coffee, and I made the choice that I didn't want to have this child. I didn't want to raise it, I didn't want to have it, and it was just something that I didn't want to have at the time, and that's okay. And so because I made that energetic shift, that decision not to have that child, my vibration changed, and my aura was no longer compatible to hold that baby. And the next day, my body self-aborted it, or the ETs took it that night, I don't know which. But when that happened, there's a sense of sadness in me, a sense of wanting to get to know the vibration of who it was that had come around, because I recognized the energy. I felt familiar with it. And I want for you to pay attention still as to how your energy body is reacting to me sharing these things with you. How is it feeling? Where are you feeling tension? Where are you feeling lightness? What is happening with your own aura? Please remember that's very important. And so what happened around that time a fair bit was I was having a lot of astral projections. I was also being taken on to craft quite a bit, going through the hybrid program. And this one time, I found myself in a very beautiful location, and I was sitting on a bench, and I was sitting beside my husband, and I didn't realize it was a craft at the time. I should have, but I didn't know at the time that they came that big, or that they could have parks, or that they could have trees, and it'd be just so massive and incredible. And so I was sitting on the bench, and this one being, this little girl, she ran up to me. And by the way, their playground didn't quite look like ours. I didn't see monkey bars. I didn't see swings and slides and stuff like that. It was somehow just different. It was hazy on the outside section of my vision, so I couldn't quite remember what the heck was going on there. But I remember that I was sitting on this bench beside my husband, and this little girl ran up to me, and she's like, "Two little kids from the other side say hello." I remember going, when I woke up the next morning, going, what's all that about? What does she mean two little kids say hello? Not realizing that the two sparks that had fallen into my aura were actually the vibrations of the two children that I would be having. And so about a month later, I became pregnant again. And it wasn't because we were trying to get pregnant, it wasn't because I wasn't on like using protection and stuff like that. It was just when babies decide they want to come, they want to come. And so when I found out about their vibration, about my child's vibration coming, and I could feel her body connecting, her soul connecting with mine, her aurics. I noticed one morning when I woke up, I'm like, wow, my aura's orange. What's all that about? Why is it so big? Why is it so sunshiny? Why does it remind me of this beautiful, like, sunset kind of orange? It was such a magical, beautiful color, but not a color that I typically have in my aura. And so I thought this was really, really wonderful and kind of phenomenal, and I was just, when I decided to take a pregnancy test a few days later, I remember finding I was pregnant, and this time I was actually overwhelmed. I was overjoyed. It felt right. And so the reason I'm bringing this up is I want to show you how the emotions, when someone is sharing something with you, can impact your emotional body. I'm sorry for sharing something so personal, it might make some of you uncomfortable, but I wanted to express to you how the person who's across from you can be releasing their auric field into yours. And so earlier, when we did that clearing technique of asking your angels to clear us, that's great. In fact, I think you should do it right now, that way you clear yourself of my emotions, of my energy, of my experiences. So, angels, please clear my body, please clear my mind, please clear me psychically, please clear me of all energy that isn't mine. Thank you. You might remember all of them, or add more of them, or take away some of them, and that's totally fine. It doesn't matter. The important thing is you get in the habit of clearing yourself. That is really what I want for you to take away from this. And so I look forward to actually hearing about about how this went for a lot of you. I'm going to find a good friend who's comfortable doing this on camera, and I think I'll do this technique. That way you can see what it's like when they're telling the story, and I'm telling you the energy and the emotions that I'm getting, just to give you a better idea and possibly clarify it for those who might find this a little more complicated. Well, I'm going to go let the dogs out because my small dog looks like he could really use it, but it was lovely talking to you, and I hope that helps. Peace, love, and light. Bye.